Hey guys, I just wanted to show you a cool way to make images static in your Google Slides if you have click happy kids that accidentally delete your instructions and images and things that you have in the slides. And so you'd set up your slide however you want. Like I would say I wanted this puzzle in my slide so the kids could type over that and do the math. And so I'm going to screenshot that and however you normally do that so that I can put that into my slide. And now you might want that as the whole background, but I don't because it's going to distort it and I want to be able to put my directions and stuff on the slide as well. So I'm putting in directions like answer the questions and use that to fill in the cross number puzzle. And I don't really like a white background, so let's say I change that and I want to do this color. Now that's probably a little dark. Let's do this one. Alright, and so I don't want them to be able to move my instructions or accidentally delete them. I also don't want them to be able to move this image or delete it. And you could even, since these questions are actually pretty small, I normally would put these on a different slide, but since this is actually pretty small questions, I'm going to just put those directly on this slide so they can see them. And so I don't want them to be able to delete that either. And so now I have my slide set up the way I want it. I can either screenshot the whole slide or you can download the slide as either a JPEG or a PNG image. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm actually just going to do a new slide. Now that that's downloaded, I'm going to then choose that downloaded image as my background. So wherever you downloaded that to. And so now you can see it has all of the things, and so you'd probably want that a little bit clearer if you were actually doing this, but it has all the things there and they can't click on those anymore and move them, as opposed to this presentation where they could accidentally delete those things. And then you can insert things that you want them to be able to do. So if I was actually doing this as an assignment, I would put a chart over top of this puzzle so they could type the numbers in. So this is a 10 by 10 it looks like chart. And so I'm going to move that so that it's on top of my picture and then just resize it so it's the same size as. And now you can see there's a box over each of the numbers that they can type in and fill that in. So I've also used this for things like a translation problem. So dragging that on there. Again, you could make that the whole background, but it does distort it. And maybe you wanted to write more directions or put two problems on the same page. And so you could do that same process. Either take a screenshot of the whole thing or you can download as your JPEG or PNG image. I actually like the download because when you download it, it's actually on your bar down here. And so when you make the new slide, and you want to change the background, you could just drag that in, and then it will from your bar. You don't even have to know where you saved it from. And now it's in the background of this image instead. And then you can add shapes or whatever you want. So if I do this, I usually add a circle for them, for their points, and I usually make them red. And then I'll copy and paste so that they have 3 circles. I also usually insert lines just to save them some time. And then I usually, again, change that color, and I change the thickness so it's easier to see. And then just copy and paste. And I usually then move those so they're not on top of each other. And I say, hey, drag, I'll put directions on there too ahead of time, like on this slide, so that it's not in the, or able to be deleted. And then they can just move the points and be like, oh, 4 units to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 unit down. And if you can't get that centered, a good helpful hint is if you hit the shift button, you can move it very slightly. And so that's always a good hint to tell your students as well. And then they can do that with each point, and you can go ahead and grade that. So hopefully that was helpful.